I welcome you all to this video. So today in this video, we are going to discuss about the insert into statement, and we will take an example to understand that. But before that, first of all, we should select the database. So I will click here on the drop down and I will select employee details because this is the name of the database in which our table resides, as we have already discussed. And now I will simply write select star from the table that we are going to use. So the name of the table is dbo.employees. So shift up arrow key, control E, right? So you can see that this is the table that we have. And let's say in this table, we are interested in adding a record. And in order to insert a record into this table, in what way should we write, what should be the syntax, and what way should we write the SQL query so that we will be able to insert a record into this table, right? So in order to insert a record into this table, first of all, we can write insert into, and then after writing insert into, you have to provide the name of the table. So the name of the table is dbo.employees. So we can write insert into dbo.employees. And then you can write, no, not employee record, sorry, employees. And insert into DBO employees. Then we will have to write values. And after writing values, you can simply specify the values in the bracket. And after writing the name of the table, that is dbo.employees, you need to specify the names of the columns as well in the bracket. So the first column that you can see that we have here is employee ID. So let's write employee ID here. The moment you will type 2-3 characters, IntelliSense will show you that these are the possible options that you can choose from. So employee ID, comma, after employee ID, we have first name. So we will write first name, comma, then we have last name, comma, after that we have department, then we have salary, then we have hire date. So in that way, you have to write like, so insert into name of the table, that is DBO employees, then specify the names of the columns in which you want to insert the values in that given record. And after writing values, you just need to provide the values for each one of the columns in the same order as you have written the names of the columns after DBO employees. So let's say we want the employee ID to be 6, and since employee ID column is a numerical column, it can consist of integral values only. So that's why you can provide an integral value there. So I'm writing 6. I want the employee ID to be 6. I want the first name of the employee to be, let's say Raj. So in the single quotes, we can write Raj, then comma. Now we need to provide the last name. Let's say we want to provide the last name and we want the last name to be Ambani. So Raj Ambani. Then after that, comma. Then we will have to provide the department. So inside the single quotes, we can write, let's say the department is IT. So we can write IT in the single quotes. We are writing the first name, last name, and department in single quotes because these are textual fields, right? They consist of textual values, while your employee ID consists of integral values. So that's why we are writing it in this way. Then comma. After that, we have to write the salary. So it is again a numerical field. So let's say the salary is 67,000. So we can write 67,000, comma. Then we have to provide the hire date. So we need to provide the date in single quotes again. So in the single quotes, we can write, let's say the hire date was 2023. Let's say your 20th April 2023. So we can write 2023-04 and then 20, right? So we need to insert this record into the table, which is written in line 5 and 6, as you can see the syntax. And let's say if I will again, first of all, execute, no, we have already executed. If I execute the statement in line 3, then you can see that this is the data that we have, and we are having a total of 5 records only as of now. Now I am inserting this record into this table. So I will be executing the statement written in line number 5 and 6, and I will simply click on execute after selecting this statement. So you can see the message is displayed, that is one row affected. Now if I will execute the statement written in line number 3, you can see that there are a total of 6 records because we inserted one record, that is record number 6 in this particular table, right? So in that way, we can use insert into to insert the records into a given table, right? So that's the point. Now let's say we are interested in inserting one more record to this particular table. Let's remove this object explorer as of now. Yes, for better clarity. Okay, fine. So now let's say I want to write the insert statement again, and I am interested in inserting one more record to this particular table, that is DBO employees. But I do not want the value to be inserted for all the columns. I want only employee ID, first name and last name to be inserted in that record. I do not want department to be there. I do not want salary to be there, and hire date also I do not want. So what we can do in that case, we can write the insert statement in this way. Like I'm going to write that in line number 8 now. So we can write insert into dbo.employees. dbo.employees is our table. And then in the brackets, we can specify the names of the columns for which we want to insert the values. So let's say we want to provide employee ID. The moment we will type 2-3 characters, IntelliSense shows that these are the possible options that we can choose from. Employee ID, then we want to provide first name, we want to provide last name, and that's all. We do not want to provide the name of any other field. We do not want to provide values in any other field. So we will simply write insert into DBO employees, and then we will write the names of the columns, and then press enter, values, in bracket open, bracket close, inside the bracket for employee ID. For employee ID, let's say we want the employee ID to be 7, so we can write 7. Let's say we want the first name to be Rohit, and let's say we want the last name to be comma Mehra. So we can write Mehra here. Now let's execute the statement written in line number 8 and 9. So I will select this statement and I will simply click on execute. So one row affected, it means one row was inserted into dbo.employees table. Now let's execute the statement written in line number 3. And let's see what happens. So you can see that the 7th record was the record that we inserted, and we are having the value for employee ID column, we are having the value for first name column, last name column, but we are having nulls in department column, salary column, and hire date column, because when we executed the insert statement written in line 8 and 9, we didn't provide the names of the columns department, salary, and hire date. We only provided the names of the columns employee ID, first name, and last name. That's why the values were inserted for these particular columns only for record number 7, right? So this is how we can insert certain values in the given table, right? And insert certain records basically. Now let's say you do not want to provide the names of the columns here, right? You want to write the statement in such a way so that it is not required to provide the names of the columns. So that can also be achieved, that can also be done, but it can be done only in those cases where you are interested in inserting the values in all the columns for a given record, right? Let's see how it happens. So let's say we are interested in inserting a record into this table. So we will write insert into dbo.employees, and then we will not provide the names of the columns because we are interested in providing values for all the columns for this given record that we are going to insert, right? So I will not write the names of the columns. So I will simply write insert into dbo.employees. Now in the next line, I'll write values. And now I will open bracket, close the bracket, and after the values, after writing this values keyword, I will provide the values in the bracket, right? But the condition is that if you want to write the syntax in this way, that is written in line 11 and 12, where you do not want to write the names of the columns, then in that case, the values have to be provided for all the columns in that given record. So the first column is employee ID. So we will, for employee ID, let's say we want to provide the number as 8. So 8 is the employee ID. Now you will have to provide the first name. So let's say the first name is Mahesh. And then let's say the last name is Narang. So Mahesh Narang. And then comma, let's say you want to provide the department as HR. So in the single quotes, you can write HR. Then comma, after that, you need to provide the salary. So let's say the salary is 73,000. So you can write 73,000. Then comma, you need to provide the hire date. So in the single quotes, you can write the hire date. let's say the hire date is 21st January 2024. So we can write 2024 and then 01, then 21st. So in this way, you can insert the record in the employees table. So I will now select the statement, insert statement written in line 11 and 12, and I'll simply click on execute. So you can see again, one more row was affected. And here we have not provided the names of any one of the columns, right? As we provided in case of the statements written in lines 5, 6 and 8, 9. We have not provided the column names in 11, 12, right? The statements written in line number 11 and 12. So one row was executed. Now again, let's run the simple select statement to see the output. So I'll come to line 14 and I will write select star from dbo.employees. Let's select the statement written in line 14 and press Ctrl E. So you can see that this 8th record is inserted, right? And we didn't write the column names in the syntax when we wrote line number 11 and 12. So how will you know that in which order should you provide the values while writing the insert statement like this, as it is highlighted in blue as of now on the screen? If you do not want to provide the column names, then how will you get to know that if this is the first value that you are providing, it will go to employee ID column? This is the value that will go into first name column. This is the value that will go into last name column. How will you know that? So in order to know that, you will have to run a simple statement that I'll tell you now. So you can write select star from information underscore schema dot columns where table name, table underscore name, like, or might be you can write table underscore name is equal to inside the single quotes, because we will study about the like operator in the upcoming session. So as of now, you can write select star from information underscore schema dot columns where table name is equal to, and then if we will talk about the table that we are using, then this is the name of the table, that is dbo.employees. Here dbo represents the schema while the table name is employees. So you can copy this much part, copy it, Control C and paste it here. So if you will see the select statement written in line number 16 and 17, so we have select star from information underscore schema dot columns where table name is equal to employees. And now I will execute this statement. Once you execute this statement, you will see that there is something called ordinal position. So from ordinal position, you can know that if you will not write the name of the column, but if you write the values, that you will get to know about the order in which you can write the values, right? So for example, if since employee ID column is having ordinal position 1, so in values, if you will write any value first, that is going to be fed to the employee ID column. Then first name is having the ordinal position 2. So Mahesh will go into first name column. Then last name column has an ordinal position 3. So this will automatically go into last name column. So you can check for the ordinal positions using this statement. And then you can simply not provide the names of the columns, and the values will be inserted in all the columns in that way, right? If you want to use this statement that is written in line 11 and 12. So that's all about this insert into statement, and I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other important topics. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.